Good morning. Hello, hello. How are you? Let me just double check that I am actually live as always. Yes, I am. Happy days. So, happy solstice here in the northern hemisphere. We are just into the winter solstice today, over today, tomorrow. Um, how are you? Are you ready for the big day? Christmas is literally a few days away. Our Christmas this year is going to be a little bit weird, a little bit upside down. We are actually having a bit of a back to front Christmas because my partner's son has to work over the Christmas period. So we are actually having our Christmas Day on Christmas Eve, and then my kids and I are doing our Christmas Eve tradition on Christmas Day. So it's kind of back to front and upside down, but I kind of like that. I kind of like that it's a bit different and it's a little bit odd. So yeah, that's what we're doing this year. Let me know when you catch this video what you're doing this Christmas. Is there anything different about it? Is there anything that maybe you're doing differently? Maybe you're changing traditions, maybe mixing it up a little bit, or are you just gonna, stick to what you always do and hope for the best and ride it out until the new year? Again, let me know if you like Christmas, if you don't like Christmas, what's going on. Um, it's a difficult time for some people as well. Obviously, it may be your first Christmas without someone. It might be that it's a difficult time for you. And again, if that's the case, make sure you're looking after you. And that's the main thing. But let me know, how are you? What's the crack? What are you going on? Are you you know, are you ready? Are you getting organised? Do you have the family coming over? Have you been running about? Do you feel tired? What's going on? We've got four lovely cards this week that have come out of the Lightseers Tarot deck, and they are very beautiful cards as always. But the message is very much about having having time for you in amongst the busy and in amongst the mania that is Christmas and that is this festive period. Um, and whether you celebrate Christmas or not, you tend to get swept up with all the crazy that's out there, and it's busy out there, and I don't know, sometimes it's getting a bit manic out there and it can be all a little bit overwhelming. So if you need some time out to regulate your nervous system and to step back from it, then you take that time. You don't have to do all the things. You don't have to run about and be in the thick of it all. It's just another day. Okay. And it's just another dinner. It's a glorified Sunday dinner, really, at the end of the day. So let's just dial it back a little bit and stop putting so much pressure on ourselves, okay? Because I think we put so much, we add so much pressure to our plates and we don't need to do that. So it's just a glorified Sunday dinner. That's all it is. You get some friends and family around, and you're just eating together and having some time together and making some memories together. What about that? Does that take the pressure off? So let me know how you're feeling. Let me know what's going on with you. The cards have indicated they're quite interesting. I'll show you what we've got. We've got the Three of Wands. Right, so the Three of Wands and all the fire and all the passion and all trying to get out there. And then immediately following that, we've got the Hermit, which is like the complete opposite about that pulling in. And then we've got the Ace of Cups. And then we've got the Empress. Okay, so we've two major arcanas coming up here. Major arcanas being cards that are talking about the big stuff in life. So again, this can be a particularly significant time. It can be a very significant time of year. Um, we've talked about before about wrapping up the year. I've spent personally and professionally have spent the last few weeks really reflecting and wrapping up loose ends so that I can go into this festive period and take some time away from the laptop, away from work, and actually just spend that time with myself and my friends, my family, and just come into that space. It's also my birthday next week as well, so I always take a good chunk of time off at this time of year, because I don't get an excuse midway through the year for a birthday because it all happens at this time. So I've been spending a lot of time doing that, pulling back and reflecting and looking at what we have, looking at everything I've had to be grateful for, all the challenges, all the wins, all the good stuff, all the bad stuff, wrapping that all up. We did a lovely tarot reflection in Soul Food Circle on Monday night. In Soul Food Circle, we do like at least once a month, we have a tarot session where we look at the cards and we do different things. And we used our session to reflect on the year just gone and to think about all the things that we want to be grateful for, all the things we learned, how we showed up for ourselves this year. We also then, took a look at what we maybe need to leave behind, what we don't need to carry forward into 2024, and what maybe we want to, any lessons we learned that we do need to take forward then and to work and build on. Because life is a constant evolution, it's a constant ebb and flow. And today, with it being solstice, it's a significant event in our calendar. We're holding the balance for those in the southern hemisphere. So as they're experiencing their longest day of the year, we're experiencing our shortest day, and we're holding the balance for each other. And we are, solstice, the whole thing of sun standing still for approximately 3 days, and the sun doesn't appear to move for those 3 days, and it seems to be stuck. It's not, but it just appears that way. And it's a time where we do need to have that introspection. It's a time where we do need to come into ourselves and where we do need to sort of take that time. So it doesn't surprise me that the Hermit card has shown up. And I love this card because, particularly from the Lightseers Tarot, it's almost got a very Christmassy vibe about it, with that gorgeous little sparkle of light as the person sits in what looks like pajamas at the top of a mountain. It's almost like it's a little magical Christmas dream or something. But it's it speaks to me about that sort of that need, and with the solstice about that pulling back, about pulling into yourself and about holding that energy. So to have the wands and the hermit, they're almost like pulling against each other, but I think that's maybe what's going on as well. So you can let me know if this is something that you're feeling yourself, if you're feeling, that there's some form of nearly that you're having to hold two energies at once, that you're having to hold the energy of all the stuff that you're wanting to do for 2024, but you're having to hold back because obviously we've got Christmas and we've got to do all that stuff first. And there's an intense desire as well to hide away and to pull yourself back in to um to some space and to have that time and that nurturing for yourself in amongst it all, right? And yet the wands is trying to push us forward. So let me know, do you feel like that? Do you feel that you've got this push and this pull, this push and this pull, where it's like doing all the planning and I've got all the plans for 2024 and I just want to crack on with it, but I've got to get Christmas out of the way, versus I also just want to curl under my duvet and eat chocolate for breakfast because it's Christmas, right? So there's that tug of war going on, and I feel that. But at the same time, let's dive in and take a wee look at these cards and see, because it's an important day. So today, please do take a moment to have that introspection, to do think about the solstice and the fact that, that the wheel of the year has turned. We're on the shortest day of the year now, and for the next couple of days, it will just feel like there's a pause. It's almost like the universe, the cosmos, is taking a breath, and then it'll start to turn again. So there's almost like it does feel like a little bit of a let's just pause and wait. And I think we could all do with doing that rather than rushing out to the shops and rather than doing all the things, it might be no bad thing to take that time. Let's look at the first one anyway that's come up. So we've got the Three of Wands that's come up. So in this card, it depicts a female standing with a surfboard under her arm, her hair's blowing in the breeze, and there's three flaming wands or big torches beside her as she's looking out to the waves. The waves aren't quite ready to surf on yet. If you look at the card, you'll see that they're quite flat. There's a few ripples, but they're not big enough to surf on yet, but she's ready. She's ready to catch a wave when the perfect wave comes. So this card speaks to me about having made all your plans, having done everything that you need to do, having everything, all the I's dotted, all the T's crossed, you have made all your plans, you have done as much as you can, and you're ready for that opportunity to come your way. You don't need to do another course. You don't need to tick another box. You are ready. Okay? Now, you might not know exactly how you're going to surf that wave when it comes. You might not know exactly how it's going to all unfold, but you have prepared as much as you can possibly prepare. And now it's just a waiting game. Okay. Now it's time, as one of my mentors, Hannah, would say, it's time to hold the void. You've got to wait now and see what happens. And this holding the void, this sort of like, I'm all ready to go, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. Where is it? Is that pressure energy that you put on yourself, and then you're being pulled back. And you're being pulled back as well by the energy of this big hitter, the Hermit card that's come in. So trust and be assured that you have done everything you need to do. You have planned everything. You have got everything. You're kind of just standing on that anticipation now, just waiting. And the opportunity will come. As sure as those waves in this ocean will kick up and there will be bigger waves coming in for you to catch, you will catch your perfect wave when the time is right. You've just got to hold the faith now and trust that you've done enough. So many of the people that I mentor, my students and my clients, when they get a little bit doubtful, when they have this period of having to wait, they immediately start going, I wonder should I take another course? I wonder should I do something else just to make sure I'm ready? And it's like, no, you are ready. Okay. That's like the fear of imposter syndrome nearly creeping in, or feeling not confident enough. And you nearly feel like you have to do something else before, or you have to wait till everything's perfect before you do something. That you have to wait till you know exactly how to do, everything in your business before you start your business. No, just start the damn business and get mentorship and get help. Okay. You don't have to have it all perfect. So she's standing here with this surfboard. She knows how to surf. She's done the planning, she's done the basic training, she knows how to surf. She might not know how to surf the best wave, but she knows she's going to jump in the water and go for it when the wave comes. She's going to catch that wave. She's done the prep. Okay, so this is a reminder that you've done the prep, you've dotted all the I's, crossed all the T's. You don't have to wait till it's all perfect. The opportunity's coming. You've just got to hold the void now and wait for it to come and trust that you've done enough. Okay, you're on the right path, but you don't need to wait till everything's perfect. Okay. Because this is one of the most common mistakes I see, particularly with the people that I'm coaching and mentoring for business purposes. And they'll say things like, oh, I kind of need to have everything in place before I put my first offer out. And I'm like, right, well, if you're going to wait before you place something out for sale, did you want everything perfect for it? It's going to take longer for you to recoup your money. And you're going to have to continue still working in another job, doing all these things while you're doing it, which is going to delay you further. So it's like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Done is better than perfect. It's not about being the perfectionist here. Okay. So trust the process, trust that you've done what you need to do. And as I say to you, start the business, do what it is that you've been dreaming of doing, make it happen now because you're ready. Okay. So she's ready. And she's also stepping out of her comfort zone a little bit. If you know the story of the wands, we know that the 2 of wands is very about the comfort zone, and the 3 then is about pushing past that comfort zone. So sometimes having to take that leap of faith to the next stage. And I was asking some of my clients and some of the people I've been working with this year, I was like, what are your plans for 2024? What do you want to change? And some of them do want to step into their own business. Some of them want to switch out their careers to do something else. Some of them want to improve their mental or, physical health. Lots of different things depending on where they are in their own personal and professional journey. Um, and it was nice to hear. And everybody, though, it doesn't matter where you are on this journey, everybody has that little moment of, am I ready? Have I done enough? Okay, so this card's reminding that yes, you have. You're on the right path. You're good. You've just got to hold the void now. The right opportunity's on its way. Okay, as sure as those waves are going to crash onto that beach, you will get your opportunity. However, you do need to hold the space now, and this is where the Hermit card's coming in, and I think that's why this card has come up today for us on solstice, but on the fact that we're going to have this period of the universe almost taking a deep breath in and going, breathing out and letting go. Okay, so this is a card of stillness. It's a card of introspection. It's a card of taking time to look deeply within yourself. To, if there are fears coming up, let's look at them. Let's sit with them and see where it is. Inside the business community that I'm part of, because I think it's as equally important that I have mentorship. If I'm being a mentor for my students and my mentees and the people that I'm working with, it's important that I have a mentor as well. So in the business community that I'm in, one of our mentor was talking yesterday. We started a conversation. Everybody was starting a conversation about the fact that um, this time of year people get a bit of the fear, and it's like this is where people go, and they get into scarcity mindset and they pull back and they disconnect from everything around them nearly, and sort of, they cancel memberships there, and they step out of programs, and they pull themselves back, and then in January they go, oh, what did I do that for? And it's nearly like they have to restart everything again. um so it was about this sort of this, what do you do when that fear comes in? What do you do when that scarcity mindset comes in? How do you pull that back? So the Hermit card's asking us to take a look inside, to take a look. Our greatest teacher is inside ourselves. However, sometimes we also need a little bit of guidance, and that's where your trusty Reiki therapist or healer is. That's where your coach or your mentor is, so you can ask the questions and bounce those ideas off. Or in your community spaces, you can have a group conversation about what's going on to get the support you need. Because the danger with the hermit is that we pull back too much, that we withdraw completely, and we disconnect ourselves from the people around us, and we disconnect from our emotions, and we pull ourselves so far back in that we start to believe our own wounds and our own stories, and that we can't find a way out. So the hermit card reminds us, with the beautiful light that's shining here around the character on the card, it reminds us that even in the depths of the trench that you might be in, there's still light, and if you can hold on to that light, it will pull you back. It will pull you back out to where you need to be. Time for stillness and self-care and nourishment is really important, and we're getting nourishment as well because we've got the Empress card that's reminding us to ground and nourish, and it's reminding us of the abundance that's there. So while sometimes we can fall into the fear of, am I ready? And then the scarcity mindset creeps in of, oh my goodness, there's not enough to go round. I think if somebody had commented on a post of mine, I think yesterday, I need to go back through and read all the comments. Somebody had commented on a post of mine the other day that, they wanted to work on the fear mentality that comes up whenever they have gratitude. They then immediately then feel bad for having things that other people don't. And that's a scarcity mindset. That's a scarcity and a fixed mindset rather than a growth mindset, that everything can, there's enough abundance in the world for us all. We can just tap into it. Different circumstances, different things. Everybody's going through different places. We're not all in the same boat, but we are all on an earth walk together, and we are all doing similar, we're all having a life that we have to navigate with all of its trials and tribulations and challenges, and every one of us has our own different one. It's often said that if you could see everybody else's problems, if everybody else's problems were dumped out, you'd take your own back before you'd take someone else's every time. So the Hermit card's reminding us to hold on to that little nugget of light that's inside there. It is still there. You don't need to disconnect yourself so fully, but at the same time, it is important, particularly over the solstice and for these next 3 days. Honor this time of year, honor the natural rhythms and the energy, and allow yourself to take that pause, take that breath. You don't need to be in the middle of M&S fighting with a lady for a turkey. You don't need to be, trying to grab the last set of pajamas from Primark. You don't need to be trying to, get all the things and have the perfect Christmas, only then to have something happen and derail you. Take a moment of breath, have a moment of stillness, allow yourself to come into your own space and nourish and care for yourself. And I think that's what the Hermit's reminding us to do. Your greatest teacher's inside. And the thing about it is, as you step inside to that, then you do learn to start to really deeply love and accept yourself. And this is where the Ace of Cups comes in. The Ace of Cups comes in, and it's like, we need to embrace ourselves and the season with an open heart, to show love, to show compassion, to show kindness. Depicts the person standing with a beautiful cup with a heart full of light inside this cup, and all the light beaming out from the cup and overflowing around it in this gorgeous card from the Light Seers Tarot deck. And there's lots of beautiful colours in here. There's lots of pinks and purples and blues and lots of just gorgeous colours that are really just reminding us to really allow ourselves to have that open heart, to have that space in ourselves, so that we can love ourselves unconditionally and we can love other people. Because love answers everything and it solves everything. Sometimes what we do, if we've disconnected too far, like the Hermit has warned, if we've disconnected too far, we close off that heart space, and then we really start to pull back our own power. And it can feel very frightening to open that heart. It can feel very frightening to be vulnerable and to show that love and to show that compassion and that care. but it's necessary for our own personal growth. It's necessary for our development. It's necessary for what we need in our own lives. We need to deeply care for ourselves so that we can care for other people. Sometimes we spend so much time pushing it out and saying we need to care for others, need to care for others, need to care for others, but we forget about us. So another reminder of the hermit is that yes, you need some time for you in amongst the busyness, and you need to develop this open-heartedness for yourself, to forgive yourself for any past mistakes, to forgive yourself for anything that you're not that proud of. Because sometimes when we're sitting in the solitude, the stuff that we don't want to see starts creeping out, and we start to get a little bit like, oh. But when we shine the light of love on it, and we start to shine that beautiful awareness on it, it allows us then to step into that space of compassion for ourselves and forgiveness. And that ripples out from around us, and it really helps. Okay, it really helps us to be the person we came here to be. Okay, and that in turn feeds back into our first card, which is the Three of Wands. When we are accepting of ourselves and loving ourselves, we are then ready to take the next step into our out of our comfort zone, because we know we're ready, because we trust ourselves enough, because we've checked in with our heart space, and we know that's what we desire from our soul space rather than from our head. Let me know if that makes sense. And then finally, we have the Empress showing up. And the Empress is just the total embodiment of abundance and nurturing and self care. And it's almost like just reminding us that the winter solstice is like the womb. We're in the womb space right now, and we're being carried and we're being cared for and we're being protected. Okay. We're being nurtured. We're being sustained. So there's a reference to doing that for ourselves, to doing that for the people around us, but for ourselves as well. You know, so just as the solstice is marking this turning point and this pause and this deep breath in that the universe takes before the wheel of the year continues to turn, and we start to step into the new year and Imbolc, and we start to go through all the Sabbats again and the year spins on. But right now we're at that pause point. We're in the womb, we're being nurtured, we're being cared for. All the seeds we've planted, all the waves that we're waiting for are just biding their time, and then they will come and we will be ready. We will birth everything that we've been planning into existence when the time is right. Okay. So embrace this stillness right now. Embrace this opportunity to take that time for you to ground your energy. So if you're really busy in your head with all the plans and all the excitement, and I know that in the business community, so many people are excited for 2024. They're excited for what's to come, particularly if they've been making really good plans. Some of my clients are so excited by what's coming up for them. And I can't wait in soulpreneur space to really dive into that with them and see how it's all going to unfold and help everybody get to where they need to be. And I'm so excited as well to be working with Hannah Walker inside Rise, her masterminding. And it's going to be so good to really dive deep. But at this point in time, it's a moment of pause and stillness and preparation, just trusting that all those seeds are in the ground and they're ready to come out, but they're just not right now. They come up right now, the frost's going to get them. They come up right now, it's not the right time. Okay, so if you're really busy in the head and you've got loads going on, this is a reminder to ground that energy down. So do what you need to do to ground that energy. Get outside into nature. Walk slowly amongst the trees. Trees have a really slow, beautiful energy that help you pull that energy back down. Have an Epsom salts bath. Have some really nourishing foods, lovely root vegetables and soups and stews and things like that are really good at this time of year. It's no surprise that that's what we naturally are drawn to. Okay. And amongst all the excess and all the crazy that's coming up over the next week or so, give yourself time to mother yourself, to nurture yourself. Okay. This is my second Christmas without my mum. My mum passed last year on the 16th of December. So last Christmas was our first one without her, but this one I think will be more poignant. So again, this is significant for me and the mother energy that's missing around my table at Christmas. However, I'm a mother and I'll be the mother for my children, and I will still hold Christmas for them because that's important. So there's a maternal energy here, but a nurturing energy and a caring energy. But she also reminds us of the abundance. So as I said earlier, if you're having a bit of a wobble about, oh, I'm already, is there not enough? And I'm falling into scarcity mindset, the Empress reminds you that there is always enough. There's always enough to go round. It's the promise of growth. It's the promise of love. It's the promise of birthing everything in. And when we couple that with the gorgeous Ace of Cups that we talked about, we've got that gorgeous, compassionate love and caringness in there for ourselves. We care for ourselves. It helps us care for others. It helps us nurture ourselves, which helps us nurture others. So I think our overall message for solstice, and these are the last cards I'm going to pull for 2023, because I'll not be here next week. This time next week's my birthday and I'm going to take a day off. So I'll be back in January with the musings and the tarot insights, and we'll take it from there. In January, I'll pull a few cards to see where we're going. My members inside Soul Food Circle have already had the January reading has gone out for them, so they get a little advantage. It's exclusive for members only. But I'll pull you guys a set of cards come January once we get back into the swing of things. But I think our message realistically is just in summary, trust that you've done all the prep. Trust that you're ready to take the next step. You're on the right path and you will catch that wave when it's right to do so, and you will ride it perfectly because you know what you're doing. Okay. Take the time out for yourself with the hermit, but don't get embedded in your wounding and in your stories, and don't fall too deep into the trench and disconnect from yourself. You know, introspection's great, but when we stay there, then we lose our connection with other people. So make sure you hold on to that light and use it as a tether to pull yourself back. Okay, get the help that you need if you need it. Reach out and ask for support. Love yourself unconditionally, because that helps you spread the love and compassion and joy out into the world and gives you that beautiful new beginning that you're after. Okay, and nourish yourself and remember the abundance that's all around you, and ground that energy and bring all your ideas into existence, birth them into this world. For now, for the solstice, for the next few days, take a breath. Remember that you are a sovereign being. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. And no is a full sentence. You don't have to explain yourself. So if you don't want to do something, you don't do it, okay? Give yourself permission to just relax and have fun. Make some memories this Christmas. And it's just a glorified Sunday dinner. You don't need to put pressure on yourself to have the perfect Christmas. Okay? I'll see you again in the new year. May you have a fabulous winter solstice today and over the next few days. Blessed Yuletide to you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. All the things. Season's greetings to you. It's been lovely working with you all this year. It's been such fun. I can't wait for 2024. I'm kind of at this sort of anticipation period myself with the Three of Wands. So excited for what's coming. I still have some founding member spaces left in Soulpreneur space, but they won't be there for long. So our first meeting will be on the 9th of January for that. So if you want in, make sure you hit me with DM. I'll still be in the office up to the end of this week. So ping me a message if you want any information on that. And Reiki 1 is nearly full for the 20th of January. So if you're thinking of doing your level 1 Reiki training, don't leave it too long to book, because that class is nearly full and the next one then's not till March. So just a couple of wee reminders for you for those who've indicated some interest in those things. Whatever you're up to over the next few days and weeks, have a fabulous time. Please take some time for you. And I am so grateful to all of you for being here. It's amazing to work with you every day. So whatever you're up to, have fun, and I will see you again in 2024. Bye.